Almost 2 decades ago, a landmark film was released upon the world, and a cultural touchstone was born. Now, the brilliant and talented players of that cinematic icon have returned to recapture the magic and inspire audiences with a new chapter in one of film's most beloved sagas.
Ding, 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 ding. Very good.
I'm not a big sequel guy. You know, I've never done a lot of sequels, but these characters just stayed.
When we made the first one, we thought 14-year-old boys would be impressed, but who knew that the demographic would be from 8 to 80, you know?
Whenever I work on a movie, I always think like, oh yeah, it's a great movie, it's gonna be really good. For some reason, I've never been able to imagine it in the future as being something that's gonna make money and be huge.
I grew up with Dumb and Dumber.
I grew up with that movie.
I don't know one person who hasn't seen Dumb and Dumber.
It brings back memories.
When it was a success, I was kind of taken by surprise.
The bad hair, the bad car, bad teeth, I think.
Yes.
You could have played Dumb and Dumber in the 30s, and people would have laughed. They would have got the jokes because it's so basic.
All the movements it makes when it's a bit crazy, you know?
I catch myself saying quotes from the original subconsciously without even referencing the movie. It just comes out naturally.
I like it a lot.
I can totally rock the Lloyd look.
What's the most annoying sound you've ever heard?
I like it a lot.
I think that's the beauty of this movie. It's invaded everyone's home.
It was shown an awful lot of times on TV, on TBS and TNT, so a whole generation of kids kind of grew up watching it over and over.
It is on TV all the time because it was so great.
Now those kids are not kids anymore. They're a little bit older, and they have kids.
20 years later, you can watch it, you can show your kids it, and they're gonna laugh as much as you are.
It's cool to see a new generation of kids getting into Harry and Lloyd, and these legends are able to continue. It's great.
Whoa! Oh my God!
I was just meeting a family today on the set.
Whoa! I can't even see you. You're like a blur.
The little boy, he had just seen Dumb and Dumber a couple of months ago, and his parents were total fans of Dumb and Dumber. So it keeps reintroducing itself to new generations of people. And that's just a real thrill.
Hey, Marvin. Let's do this.
We weren't the funniest guys growing up by any means, but we knew funny and we understand funny. Our friends are funny and people around us were funny. We weren't afraid to, go for the joke.
You can't really take your eyes off Dumb and Dumber once you start watching it. Oh. It's like, really? Wow. I can't believe this stuff.
There was an innocence to Harry and Lloyd. It was never mean. It was never violent unless it was to each other, physically, boom. We were just stupid. There's a joy in watching that.
These guys are alive. As dumb as they are, they have joy in their hearts, and that's why it's so fun.
Well, you're really good at that, Lloyd. I learned from the best. Thanks, Mom.
After the first movie, I got a call from Dustin Hoffman, who said,
I think that relationship is one of the most real buddy comedies I've ever seen. The character relationship is so real.
And I said, really? He goes, yeah. He said he really believed that they had known each other their whole lives.
When we finished Dumb and Dumber, obviously people said, well, you're gonna do a sequel, and it came up a lot of times.
It really was meant to happen 20 years later, and if it happened any earlier, I think it wouldn't be as good, so it just all sort of worked out the way it's supposed to work out.
When we started Dumb and Dumber 2, we didn't want to make a movie that was like Dumb and Dumber light. So we knew the bar was set high, and we took a long, long time working on that script.
I've been working on it for 18 months, 37 minutes, and 40 seconds. Like fine wine, like a pickle, like cheese, this movie had to wait for a certain amount of time to be just right. The one odd element about writing with Pete, he likes to drive across the country and write in a car. He likes the fact that when you're driving, you get into a sort of Zen state. So a lot of this movie was written driving across the country. I would sit in the passenger seat with a pillow on my lap, my laptop, and I'd literally be typing the movie as we were driving. Let me tell you, you can only do that for about 10 minutes before you get seriously car sick. I'd say, I'm gonna throw up. We've gotta stop for a few minutes.
Then when we were done and we felt like we had a really solid script, we sat down with some of the writers from The Family Guy, when we punched it up for about a week, and then we went back and we worked some more, and then we punched it up another week with different writers from Family Guy, and then we went and sat down with Jim Carrey for a week, and then punched it up again. We just kept pushing and pushing and pushing.
Fire in the hole!
How you doing, sugar tits?
Whoa, easy, Hoser.
That's good.
The Farrellys now know what's funny.
Good.
They now know what works. And they guessed right a lot on the first one, but now they know.
That was a good one. Very great.
Funny is here, not here, not here. The timing, the back and forth, there it's funny.
Crap on toast.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
You've got to just together find it right there. And in the process of doing that, you can find 3 or 4 other things that are funny as well.
I admit, it's thought-provoking.
And that's where it gets challenging and wonderfully complicated and fun. To be with somebody like Jim Carrey.
What are you talking about?
Nothing. That's awesome!
Whose mind is everywhere,
Where do you put the coins in? There's a slot back here.
but still very precise and very 1, 2, and there's the joke.
Watching Jim and Jeff, we already knew their chemistry was fantastic.
The friendship's there off camera.
Something about marriage.
We like each other, and that translates when they roll film.
Have you ever had crabs?
Not this big.
It really is like going back in time. It's like time travel, this movie for me. It's very H.G. Wells.
You are a frickin' genius, Lloyd. I mean, nobody else could have pulled that off.
Once they were in costume and the hair was done and we got through all that stuff, they kind of looked pretty much like they did 19 years ago.
The haircut, the tooth, the outfit.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was just rewind back straight to that time when I first saw the movie. It was uncanny. This time I'm seeing it live in front of me, and it was a great feeling.
Stop pulling. Hey.
Within 5 minutes of shooting, it felt like, oh yeah, there it is. That's the thing. It's back.
Day one has been a huge success.
The level of my hair is like the level of my excitement, which is very high.
If I remember correctly, on the first movie, the first day, Peter and Bobby said, we don't know what we're doing, so we're going to rely on all of you to help tell us what to do. And that instantly put everyone on their side.
Oh, hey. Hey, good to see you guys.
I've personally never been on a set like this where there's so much love and consideration from everyone, from crew to actors to everyone involved.
The band's back together, and we're rocking. It's good. It's really good.
I'm a big loyalty guy, and I get that sense from them.
Thanks for having Rob Riggle, everybody.
They're very loyal to the people that deliver for them and work hard for them, so I respect that a lot.
Just the very fact that they open up the set to friends and family, and they're so excited. They'll play on the video playback like, hey, do you like this gag? They're so excited about what they're doing.
Awesome. It's a family atmosphere, but, you know, the Manson family had a family atmosphere, too. You kidding? You didn't go? I did. I said it was so good. It was my first night at camp.
They don't tolerate bad attitudes or egos. That was really cool to walk into. I'm in. It just puts you at ease, and it makes you really feel like you're around family or friends.
The most important thing for us is to keep the actors really loose and happy and feeling like they can take chances because they're amongst family.
I threw it, and it broke on Lori's knee.
If you have actors who are uptight or feel nervous or distressed on the set, they don't do that. They don't take those chances. That's why we go out of our way to keep the set very loose.
Good time was had. When you got a quarterback like this, all you got to do is stick your hands in the air and catch it.
What a fantastic experience. So much fun coming back to it.
Just when you thought it couldn't get any dumber.
You know, to me, the special thing about movies is when Chaplin kisses a girl, he doesn't just kiss her, he makes a dance move out of it. Makes something memorable happen. And you can never get out of your head.
Sorry. That ball's hit me in the face there.
Every day there's a set thing in the script that's funny, and if you just did that, it would be funny as hell.
And action.
But there's a certain desperation gear that kicks in. I start scanning everything in my view and thinking, how can I use it all? Jeff and I on the deer today. That was just a little thing that turned into a giant piece of business. that, you know, you go home feeling like, wow, I really made the most of this, you know? Or the little doorbell thing. It just says in the script, he goes up and he starts ringing the doorbell over and over again until it's annoying to people. So I think to myself, well, how do I make that super annoying and super kind of creative in a way? Come on, pick it up! So Lloyd's just sitting there going like this when, you know, punching it with both hands like this, like the next level. It's the drugs that keep me focused. It's my ADD medicine. Thank you, doctor.
Should I have this mole removed, by the way? I mean, it was cool until the hair started growing in it.
I'm Jeff Daniels, and I'm dumb.
Let my people go!
Mr. Jeff Daniels.
36 hours after winning an Emmy for Best Actor in a Drama Series, I have an IQ of 8.
Emmy winner! Emmy winner! I was gonna have to leave that shit at the door. Sorkin on this.
To go from a McAvoy to a Harry Dunn, that's A to Z. There's a wonderful challenge in that, and seeing if you can pull it off. I'll tell you that it takes more to get into McAvoy than it does to get into Harry Dunn, and that's frightening. Harry comes very easily. You want some more ass? I'm just clocking them with you.
Emmy Award winner.
Ready? Emmy Award winner. Doesn't bode well for my twilight years. I want to go to the restaurant where those two are having lunch together. I want to see how long Will McAvoy stays at the table.
Bon appetit, kid!
I had done Gettysburg, Joshua Lawrence Chamberlain, Civil War hero. And the next year I was doing Dumb and Dumber. And I remember sitting on the set of Dumb and Dumber thinking, all those Civil War buffs who revere Gettysburg, who just idolize Chamberlain, are going to be so disappointed when they see the toilet scene.
Where does all the extra poop go?
But I love that. It's surprising to me that 20 years later, it's been no problem getting people to do this movie. Far easier than the first one, I would guess.
Harry, you made it! And you found Penny!
We've got Kathleen Turner playing Freda Felcher. She's like American acting royalty.
Somebody called me up and said that they'd seen a script for Dumb and Dumber 2, and this woman was described as a Kathleen Turner type. And I thought, well, why don't I call my agent and say, I can do Kathleen Turner type?
When we wrote the script, we had said, you know, this was the only role we actually put in parentheses, a very dressed down Kathleen Turner.
Oh, you guys doing an interview? Cool.
Yeah.
We did Peggy Sue Got Married years ago, and to have her be a part of this is really a thrill. She jumped right in, and she was completely willing to go there.
Jim can be struck by a whimsy or the sound of a word or something that pops into his mind. And then Peter and Bob keep the balance.
Oh my God. OMG. I love Kathleen. Like I said to her, I'm like, God, I just love working with you. You just make me so happy. You're so beautiful. She goes, okay, thank you.
There is always a way.
She's so cool. I want to be like that.
Oh, Kathleen, I felt honored that she beat the crap out of me. I took every blow. I got a stunt double. I'm like, no. Are you kidding me?
Oh, the good guy here.
I'm taking it. You know what I mean? I want to tell my grandchildren I got pummeled by Kathleen Turner. How cool is that?
Dumb is the new smart.
It's award, you stupid bitch. I have been living in this world of heavy drama in The Walking Dead for so many years. I put out to the universe after I did The Walking Dead, I want to do something goofy. I want to do something light. I want to laugh.
The toe sucking. That is not a small thing to put Rob Riggle's toe in your mouth.
Lead her down and cut.
I created a little backstory for myself as to what this meant and why, which is my own character secret. It was something that titillated her. For whatever reason, it was something that she loved.
Camera, action.
And it was her thing. I mean, everybody's got their thing. There's just no room for modesty or getting all like, it's a toe. You show up, you're a pro, you hit your mark, and you suck on a toe. One of my favorite days on the set is when Pete illustrated how he wanted the toes to be sucked.
Whoa, there you go. Really?
Okay. I really just looked at it and was like, oh my God, you kind of look like a German Shepherd that's licking the sauce off a spare rib. Right. Okay, I'm gonna channel my inner German Shepherd. And that's what I did.
I hope you're enjoying this.
I'm Laurie Holden, and I'm dumb.
Oh, fantastic. Wow, you earned your pay today. I really did.
I was auditioning for a commercial.
Action Rachel.
Did someone take the top step away? And the casting director was the same casting director that cast this movie. He was like, oh, I'm gonna bring you in for the Fairleys, and I'm like, okay. And then he brought me in for this movie, and I was like, holy shit.
Nice intro. Good work.
Thank
We're cheering.
writing it. But I pretended I was like still over it, you know. I worked with Jim. The first day was when we were shooting the fountain scene. I was incredibly nervous. I grew up with Jim. I mean, Ace Ventura was my life. When I met him, I told him straightforward, because that's all I can be. And I was like, I'm really, really nervous. I'm a really big fan. But then, of course, the first day that we were shooting, I met him, and then like an hour later, we were going to shoot in this square, and there were just like fans and groups of people all around yelling for Jim. All these signs up, wanting to get a picture. I'm like, this is so much pressure for my first day working with them. I think in a couple days, I'll feel like this was all a dream. It's still trippy to me at moments to think, like when I'm talking to my parents, I'm like, yeah, Jim, you know, Jim and I did this, and I'm like, I call him Jim. Like, that's so cool. I said like 40 times. Should play a drinking game and just drink every time. Every time I say like.
Hey! Where's the goddamn billion-dollar invention? Well, it's surreal. That's the best way I can describe it. Okay, here you go. My first scene that I shot with these guys, I'm in the back of a hearse, and in front of me are Harry and Lloyd, with the bowl cut on Jim and the whacked out hair on Jeff. And I was sitting there looking at both of the back of their heads, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm in a scene with Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels as Harry and Lloyd, and I'm the third guy in that scene. I mean, it was pretty cool. I took a moment to soak it in.
See, Mark?
So long, boys. I am now extremely adept at the art of camouflage.
This is amazing.
I think they're going to use this in the film. Maybe, maybe not. It could be an elaborate prank, and if so, hats off. Well done, well played. But if they do use it in the movie, good luck seeing me.
Can you even tell it's me? Be honest.
I had some camouflage training back in the day, back when I was in the Marine Corps.
This deal's worth billions of dollars.
But this took it to a whole nother level. Yeah, I would like to do it at my wife's book club.
Dude, what the?
Oh, just so I can really hear all the bullshit that's going on. I'm sorry. No, I can't say that. That's what women sound like to men. And this is what men sound like to women. Where's my beer? That's all we are to each other. I'm Rob Riggle, and I'm dumb.
Is this a buddy of yours?
Yeah. Well, we're both just chilling. Wake up, dummy. We're filming you.
Pretty bird.
It's crazy. People will jump in and be extras in Dumb and Dumber because of the Farrellys. The Farrellys are just so cool and funny, like naturally funny guys.
We have a few cameos in this movie from friends, and very big names come in and they play little small roles. Throughout the whole movie, you might not identify the person, but when you see the credits and go back and check it out, you're gonna be in for a nice surprise.
Whoa! Is that grown-up Billy in 4C?
Hey, my name is Brady Bloom, and I am the infamous Billy in 4C.
He's got the best rare bird collection in Rhodey.
They found me on Facebook. Casting sent me a Facebook message. Hey, Billy! At first, I thought that somebody was pulling my leg.
Are you crazy?
But once they gave me a little bit of proof,
I hear you got a lot of flocking birds.
I've just been stoked.
Hey, gang, I'm home.
I had no clue how much those two lines that I had were going to follow me the rest of my life.
Pretty bird.
I had people recognize me when I was younger, but now they don't recognize me, but when they find out that I'm the bird kid, basically, they freak out.
Speak to me, Siskel.
Put your butt in my face. I've had to take hundreds, probably thousands of pictures and had to say the words pretty bird multiple thousands of times. Never gets old to me, though. That's a wrap on Billy and Forsey.
What's up? This is Swiss Beats. Today, I did one of the best roles I can ever do. I got my balls ripped off by Jim Carrey.
Looking for these?
Swiss Beats was one of the people we used as a sounding board. We said, what do you think about Dumb and Dumber, a sequel? It was a showstopper. He was like, oh, it's my favorite movie of all time. If you guys make that movie, I have to at least be able to visit the set, you know?
This is my first acting role, and it don't get no crazier than this. I'm from the original Dumb and Dumber prank school. And I was always a class clown because of them. I used to get in trouble from doing Fire Marshal Bill. And so to be here is like, it's amazing.
You smell so good.
The music culture where I come from, for me to do this role, nobody would expect me being a Rough Rider to be a ninja that's getting his ripped off. As far as the street cred, I'm not really looking for it. As far as the dad cool points, I'm looking for that. For my kids to see this movie and be able to connect me with something that's cool and positive, to me, that's the big payoff. I'm Swiss Beats, and I'm dumb.
Well, my name is Eric Schmidt, and I'm the executive chairman of Google. Oh, come on. Don't you know who I am? Well, I wanted to be part of another cult classic. And what I like about this movie group is the energy and the enthusiasm. I've never seen a group of people this excited about making something. The moment I came in, it's boom, you know, can we do this, can we do that? Building that esprit de corps, that energy, you get more out of people. It's a great model of leadership. Jeff and Jim. They look exactly like they did 15 years ago. They'd say in my ear as I was being directed by the director, do something different. Try this, try that. I don't like this, and so forth. And they're driving me crazy while they're shooting me. You want more?
Yeah,
Okay. We've heard that on several occasions.
Okay, I'm Eric Schmidt, and I'm dumb, and sometimes dumber.
We had a special guest today. One of our old favorites came to visit. He played Ice Pick, a meth cook that Harry has been rooming with since Lloyd was at the mental institution. But it was a very small part, but you know, I think it was Stanley Slofsky who said, there are no small roles, there are only small actors, right? We love Bill, so called him up and asked him if he'd come down and play this, and he said, sure, I'll do it.
How's it going, Ice Pick?
Boy, he came in and made us laugh, just being in the background doing stuff.
Greatest day of my life, really. Best day ever. Top of the world, Mom.
There was nothing scripted for him, really. He was a meth cook, like, you know, we were kind of spoofing Breaking Bad.
Pick cooks up a rock candy that'll make you dizzy. Folks come from all over the city to buy it.
I don't know, he just makes it funny just walking around that it's Bill Murray and there's something about him. He can do anything to make it funny.
What an energy boost, you know, for the crew and for the set to have Bill around. Wonderful.
That's a wrap on Bill Murray. Just having him was a great treat for Pete and myself.
We knew the guys would have to have some sort of vehicles. They crossed the country, and we wanted to bring back the Mutt Cuts van in some capacity.
They looked at us when we ordered that carpet like, you want what?
We decided to do it more as a cameo instead.
I love it. It's a petri dish. It's become biological.
This is the original Mutt-Cut car from Dumb and Dumber. And after the movie, I took it in my possession. I said, I want to keep this thing. It's too nice. And I had it in Providence, and a friend of mine took it without my permission. By the way, he was the chief of police, so I couldn't get too mad at him. And he put it outside a restaurant opening. that a friend of his was opening, and he thought, oh, this would be great publicity for the new restaurant. A bunch of kids from a nearby bar saw it and like, they said, there's the Woodcut car, and they started climbing all over it, and they started, you know, it was basically a riot. They ripped the tail off, they were jumping on the roof, and they went right through the car. So the cops came and like chased them away, but the car itself was damaged, and the tail was missing, by the way. They stole it. So the police put out an APB to try to find that tail, which they did. And I had to take the car and bring it over to this guy who was an artist in Rhode Island. And he said, I'll get it back up and running just like it was. And he did fix a lot of the things that were damaged about it, but what he didn't do was keep it in his garage like he told me he was going to. He said, yeah, you can leave it here. I'll keep it until you need it again. I later found out, he said, oh, my garage got a little crowded, so I had to put it out in the yard. So it's been outside for a number of years, and it started to grow moss. Grass, moss, seaweed, kelp, it's all here. She's a beauty. You know what it is? She needs a good flea dip. One good flea dip, and she'll be back to normal.
We're on South Fulton Parkway in Atlanta. We got it shut down, probably making a lot of commuters mad. This is a 72 Cadillac Hearst Miller Meteor conversion. And all we did was cut a third glass into it so we can see in the back. Been converted a little bit, has a limousine glass in it that goes up and down like a limo. And we have modified the interior so we can carry a passenger in the back as well as lay somebody flat. We have 3 identical hearses. One will be for a train scene. This will be our stunt driven where we'll put a third brake in it so we can slide it sideways. And then the hero car has air conditioning and everything else for our actors.
Once we saw the Zamboni, we said, oh, it's perfect. It's ridiculous. It's certainly not cost or fuel efficient, but it just looks very funny with them on it.
Everything's been custom fitted, even emergency brakes.
Basically, it's like driving a forklift. So it has a super tight turning radius.
Zambonis run about 7 miles per hour. Took a hydrostatic four-wheel drive and made a Zamboni that'll run 50, 60 miles an hour, if you can hold on to it.
You're white knuckling it, trying to keep it on the road, but it's quick.
If you get on it too fast, it will pop a wheelie.
So I think Jeff's going to do it, and we're going to give him a little training on it and let him go.
Hello there. Today, we're together to answer the question of what happens when lots of smart and talented people come together in a creative environment. And that answer is, a lot of dumb shit happens.
I know how to do it. Did we get it? Oh, shoot.
This is a very physical challenge for both Jeff and Jim. And we've been riding them hard and putting them away wet.
Cool. Yeah. All right. It really is for people like time hasn't changed. I get that a lot. I did Saturday Night Live the last time, and during the read-through, I realized that 90% of the sketches I was picking people up. I was throwing through windows. I was diving through windows myself. I was doing all this insane physical stuff.
Action. Superhero makes a move!
It really is imperative for me to stay in a decent kind of condition and stay limber and relaxed and young.
Oh.
What would you do if I actually bit one of these bees out of the air?
And action. Cut. Our stunt guys are really talented, and they've been awesome.
I'm Rene Paul Mousseau, and we're about to do a little fire burn.
Renee's doubling Rob Riggle. So fireworks go off. He catches on fire. He's gonna open the door and be fully engulfed in flames and go through a breakaway rail and into the pool.
Well, that's what it's intended, at least.
It's indoor display fireworks. They're actually made professionally for rock concerts, theater, stuff like that. But they look exactly like 4th of July, like the Fuse fireworks.
This is fire-resistant gel. We're completely covered head to toe.
Need a couple of graham crackers, some marshmallows, chocolate. Quick s'more as he passes by.
How hot will it get?
Flame hot.
How many times do you think they're going to do this?
Once.
Went fantastic. It was huge. Did a great job. Renee did a great job. Jim and Jeff did a great job. It came out just like they wanted. He went through into the water. It was perfect.
They wanted it big, so we made it big. Because the oxygen came out of the room a little bit, when I opened up the door, it fed the fire even more, and that's why it got bigger as soon as it ventilated a little bit.
You didn't have trouble getting out of that door?
No, not at all. Trust me, it opens when you really want it to.
This is a replica of the Mutt Cuts, although it uses the tail, ears, legs, and nose from the original.
You know, everybody loves Mutt Cuts from the first film, so the idea was to bring it back into this movie, but do something a little special with it.
We're going to be jumping the Mutt Cuts van off this ramp here.
What we decided was we were going to recreate the jump from the first film, almost frame by frame. Same lenses as we had in the first movie, except this time we were going to blow the sucker up when it landed.
This is our wireless receiver and our transmitter here. We're going to wire the front tires to blow on the impact. The nose and the tongue will come off as well.
This is a counterweight, so it will stay completely in the air, you know, to keep it from nose diving in the jump. Full roll cage to the frame.
My job essentially is to remove the ramp, you know. So I'm essentially going to go in and kind of build the road up so that way when it jumps, it's going to be flawless. There'll be no ramp. It'll literally look like it came off the road.
Better get it right. We better get it right the first time, I hope. We don't know what's going to happen exactly.
3, 2, 1, action! The jump went just like we wanted. They hit where we were supposed to, and it landed perfect.
It sounded like the tires were making a dog barking noise. It was hilarious. I mean, you hear the thing landing going.
We blew the nose off of it, blew the tongue off, cracked some legs, tail was flying around. So yeah, overall it was a good day.
Hello, I know you. Let's get together and let's get a cocktail.
How you doing, buddy? Brought you all your favorite candies. Come on, Lloyd, you gotta get over her. Mary Samsonite was just a girl.
It is a writer's dream to see their script taken and not literally done exactly every word they said.
God, yeah!
But with the addition of the directors, the actors, the editors, the music people.
I totally had you suckered, didn't I? Hook, line, and sphincter.
To see everyone contribute to it and make it better, that's a writer's dream.
That's awesome!
Yeah, it was interesting to work for the first time with the Farrellys. I had worked with Larry David a lot, and Larry's friends with Pete.
I want to see you considering it all.
Okay. And somehow I got this movie, I think through Larry David.
Oh, really?
Pete and Bobby had to get used to me, and maybe they were checking me out a little bit, but I think I passed the test.
Interesting.
I'm still in this chair, I'm talking to you.
But have you considered this?
Shit, this is my exit interview?
Yes, that's right.
I tried. Pete and Bobby, they're the masters at this format, and I'm learning every day I'm in the room with them.
Please stay in your seats, and we will resume shortly.
I'm judging.
I know you are. Doing a good job.
During the director's cut period, they split it. I go to Bobby's house, and we cut for 5 weeks. Then he lets it go, and I move to Pete's house, and we cut 5 more weeks. Then the brothers get together and work it out.
There's a trust there from a lifetime that you know you're not going to bullshit each other. When something's working and you look at the other guy and he says working, you confirmation that your instincts are right. And when you're feeling it's not working and you're looking at the other guy and he's like, I don't know if this is working, then there's something wrong. 2 heads are better than 1.
One more! There'll be controversial gags that one brother likes and the other says, no, you gotta cut that, that's not working. And if they can't agree, then we'll let the audience decide in a preview. Oftentimes that'll be the arbiter of what makes the cut. Did they laugh? It's a pretty simple formula. Did they laugh?
Well, that was awkward.
You're not kidding.
There's a gag that ends basically with Lloyd smacking Harry in the balls, just lightly. Boink. And then Jim Carrey was in the edit bay and we were throwing out ideas. He said, well, you really gotta just let him really whack him in the balls and hold on that, because you're gonna get a big laugh. So after Lloyd taps Harry in the balls, then Harry hauls off and whacks Lloyd really hard. Huge laugh in the next preview, so you never know. I guess Jim's the expert. Usually an editor cringes when they see an actor walk in the edit room, but it was the opposite with Jim because he's totally separated from his character when he's in the edit room. He refers to Lloyd as him. He'll say, make him turn quicker, use a different take. And I go, oh, he's talking about himself. But he totally has a director's hat that he can put on instantly.
All right!
You can see the mic behind me. That was used many times in this film, in this room, just to make a gag better, to change a line just a little bit, to make it funnier. And we did quite a bit of that in the edit bay right here.
Honestly, sometimes you're like, oh, let's just do what we have. You know, we know it's good, but he'll come up with an idea or give us an idea. He's never satisfied creatively. Yeah, and that's a nice thing.
I will burn this place to the ground!
I just keep pounding, and I keep thinking, and I keep pounding, and I keep coming up with lines constantly.
Engage super thruster. Look around the room. Nobody cares.
Because comedy has to stay spontaneous. You know, it has to stay fresh, and adding all the time keeps it that way.
Come on. Let's go.
You know, you feel like you're in on a little secret, you know, when you can't tell anybody. But, you know, Jim Carrey wasn't here today working with Pete and Bobby, and, you know, how cool was that?
I gave a scene to Dave Raymond, the first assistant, to cut. Mrs. Snurgle in the old folks' home.
Miss Snurgle, your grandson and his friend are here.
It still, to this day, is maybe the funniest scene in the cut, and my assistant did it.
This is stupid, Lloyd.
But yeah, I'll take credit for it if asked.
Relax.
The MPAA said, well, this scene is going too far. So there were several back and forths with the MPAA as to what is going too far with Jim's hand up this old woman's vagina.
Originally it was a little looser or a little more R-rated, I guess.
It could be the funniest scene in the film, so we were fighting for every frame and every word.
I'm not finding anything.
And we had to slice and dice several things out to get past the censor. We didn't want to touch the line.
Did you hide them inside this turkey?
Yeah, right.
That was their favorite line.
Going to grandma's for turkey dinner takes on a whole new, different meaning.
When he pulls it out, Harry says, in the first cut,
Lloyd!
Did you just put your hand up her grandgina? And the MPAA said, you can't say in her grandgina. So we cut to grandma quickly and we trimmed the line and did another reading of it where he said,
Lloyd, I think that was her grand gina.
was that her grand gina? That was what got it past the censor. Blowing the dust out of Mrs. Snurgle's grand gina. That's hard to get out of your mind. It's stuck in there. Wish I could get rid of that one. I think working with Pete and Bob is always like going to a good party. You don't know quite who's going to be there, but you have a hunch that half the people there you're going to want to interact with.
This is normal.
And so you're willing to go early, stay late, bring the beer, whatever you have to do. Just get me in the room. Hi, I'm Steve Rash, and I'm dumb.
My name is David Raymond, and I am definitely dumb. Ask my wife.
Dumb and Dumber 2. What do you think?
That was a... Well, we're here.
That'll work for you guys?
That was great stuff.
Ha 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 ha!